Good morning and welcome to Hardin County Commissioners Court. Today is Tuesday, February 11th, 2025. It is 10 a.m. and all members of the Commissioners Court are present. This meeting is called to order. If everyone will please rise for the invocation and the pledge of allegiance. This will be delivered by Commissioner Young.
Lord, I want to thank you for today and all of your many blessings. I pray over Catherine Williams' family as they prepare to lay her to rest. Be with them during this time and comfort them as only you can do. Guide us to do what is right by our citizens and be with us today as we conduct the business of the county. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Item 3 is to consider and possibly approve the minutes of the January 28, 2025 regular meeting and the February 3rd, 2025 special meeting, both presented by Connie Beckman, County Clerk.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Young, seconded by Commissioner Cook. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Number 4, consider approval of request by Deborah McWilliams, County Treasurer, to cancel all registered claims from January 28, 2025, and approval of the cash statement that she'll present to us right now. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm asking the court to release me the liability of $2,328,802.40. On the cash report summary and general checking, we have $757,571.17. First Financial Bank General Checking Special Money Market, $28,341,572.13. And Tex Pool General, $356,004.34, for a total in cash funds of $29,455,147.64.
Move to approve as presented.
Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Kirkendall, seconded by Commissioner Cooper. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you very much. Number 5, authorization to pay county bills as presented by Mrs. Gore, County Auditor. Good morning.
Good morning. The pre-approved expenditures for January the 29th through the 30th are $607,104.16. Pre-approved expenditures for February the 3rd through the 5th are $1,059,506.25. Expenditures for Commissioners Court today are $384,805.78. The total expenditures and transfers is $2,051,416.19. Gross payroll for February the 6th was $691,802.47 for a total transfers of that payroll of $850,104.20.
Move for the bill.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Young. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Ms. Gore.
Thank you.
Number 6, consider adoption of Resolution 7-25, proclaiming February 2025 as Veterans Month and supporting the Southeast Texas Stand Down for Veterans event, February 28, 2025, to celebrate and honor their service and sacrifice as requested by Mrs. Kristen White, Veteran Services Officer. And let's see, we have our own veteran, Commissioner Kirkendall, is going to read Resolution 7-25.
Yes, sir. I'll move to approve.
Second. I have a motion by Commissioner Kirkendall, seconded by Commissioner Cooper to adopt Resolution 7-25. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Veterans Month, February 2025. Whereas February is Hardin County's Veterans Month, and whereas the brave men and women of Hardin County who have served in the armed forces have made invaluable sacrifices to protect and defend our freedoms, ensuring a better future for all generations. And whereas veterans in Hardin County represent the strength, courage, and commitment that have helped shape our nation, and their service continues to inspire our community in countless ways. And whereas the veterans of Hardin County should be honored and recognized for their role in securing the liberties we hold dear, as well as their continued contributions to our community and society. And whereas we seek to extend support to veterans in Hardin County by increasing opportunities for them to remain active, engaged, and recognized members of our community. And whereas Veterans Month serves as a time to reflect on the sacrifices made by veterans and their families, and to promote programs and initiatives that support their well-being, health, and quality of life, and whereas to honor those veterans who have given so much to our community and our nation, Hardin County will host a special event, the Southeast Texas Stand Down for Veterans, on February the 28th, 2025, to celebrate and honor their sacrifice and service. Now therefore be it resolved that the Commissioners Court of Hardin County hereby proclaims February 2025 as Veterans Month in Hardin County. Signed this 11th day of February 2025. Honorable Judge Wayne McDaniel and all the Commissioners.
Thank you, Commissioner Kirkendall.
Yes, sir.
Mrs. White, is there anything you want to talk about regarding the stand down event?
Real quick, please, I
Sure,
just
come on
wanted
up.
to thank, Damien, y'all come with me. This is a group from the V for V, they are the sponsors of the, stand down, Damien, Andrea, and Teresa.
Good morning.
And, we have had wonderful donations that are coming in throughout the county, as well as 6 departments that have signed up to be at, represent Hardin County at the stand down. Response from elected officials and department heads for donations has been overwhelming. So this is gonna be a wonderful event, and we hope to see all of you there.
Absolutely.
Thank you all
Great.
so
Thank
much.
you. That's February 28th at the Dome in
Yes,
Lumberton.
sir.
What time does it start?
9 a.m.
And it stops
We'll be
around?
doing setup the day before, but,
Okay.
you know, you can get there a little bit early. I'm sure you'll be there, sir. And, we'll open the doors at 9. There'll be the opening statements, prayer, dedication, all those types of things. And then, we just bring all sorts of resources throughout our communities together in one place so the veterans know exactly where they can turn to, what resources they have, what information they need. It's pretty much a one-stop shop for not just our veterans, the homeless veterans, homeless. I know we don't have that big of an issue in Hardin County, but we want to make these available to everyone.
Well, we sure do appreciate y'all bringing this to Hardin County.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Chris.
you.
All right. Item number 7, discussion and possible action concerning the development of a community wildfire defense grant application and the associated community wildfire protection plan. We had a couple of workshops regarding this, and it was discussed at our last meeting that maybe we would forego the defense grant, but it has been recommended to us from the Forest Service and the Planning Commission to go ahead and consider moving forward with the grant funding for the community wildfire protection plan. So at this time, I just open it up to any commissioner that wants to discuss this, and then what kind of action that we want to take regarding this.
So Judge, this would be applied for the $250,000
I think that's right for the
to
plan.
update the plan.
Yes, sir. We do have an old plan. I think it was developed in 2011,
Yes.
and it needs some updating.
And so that's the only thing we're really going for.
If that's the pleasure of the court, I think that we should at least do that.
I would move to approve.
All right, so the motion is to approve moving forward with the grant application for the community wildfire protection plan only, and we're going to look at it again next year regarding the community wildfire defense grant. Is that correct? All right, any other discussion regarding this? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. And we'll get with James Moore at the Planning Commission, get that going, and then hopefully we'll get approved for that. And once we do, we'll work toward meeting with all of the fire chiefs and everybody that needs to be involved with input on getting that plan put together. Thank you. Item number 8, consider appointment of Ms. Lisa Nix to the position of Hardin County Crime Victims Assistance Center Project Director effective February 11th, 2025 at an annual salary of $53,560. This is 100% grant funded, and it is a recommendation by me.
So,
Go ahead.
so
Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Kirkendall, seconded by Commissioner Young. Ms. Nix, good morning.
Good morning.
Ms. Nix was appointed, as you know, as the interim director. I think that was about the first week of December.
Yes, sir.
She's done an excellent job on behalf of Hardin County. I get nothing but positive comments from the prosecutors and sheriff and other law enforcement people that you work with, some of the JPs. I think you're doing an excellent job, and I think being the director is the next step, and appreciate you taking on that role. I know that there's a lot to it, and you've done great so far, and I have no reason to believe that you won't continue doing great.
Thank you very much.
Any other discussion regarding this item?
I want to second that. I've also heard good things and that you're doing a great job, and I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes, and right after Commissioners Court, we'll be in the conference room and, just have a little meet and greet with Lisa. We wanna make sure that, anybody that hasn't met her and gotten a chance to talk to her already gets a chance to do that. We've invited all the JPs, the police chiefs, the constables, the sheriff, and everybody to come to that. So it'll be right here in the conference room, starting right after Commissioner's Court. Thank you. Number 9, consider approval of an order authorizing Texas Independence Day fireworks sales beginning February 25th, 2025, and ending at midnight on March 2nd, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Kirkendall, seconded by Commissioner Young. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Number 10, acceptance of the 2024 racial profiling reports for filing in the minutes of the court as submitted by all of the constables: Constable Davenport, Precinct 1, Constable Hawthorne, Precinct 2, Constable Brothers, Precinct 3, Constable Jeffcoat, Precinct 4, Constable Sullins, Precinct 5, and Constable Jordan, Precinct 6. I think this is the first time we've gotten them all at one time, and they're very early. Whose idea was that, Constable Sullins?
It was actually Constable Jeffcoat's.
Okay.
Come up with that, and that way we just have one agenda item and makes it more streamlined, so.
Well, thank y'all very much.
Move to acceptance.
Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Young, seconded by Commissioner Cook. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank y'all, we appreciate it.
Thank you, Judge.
Number 11 is acceptance of the 2024 racial profiling report for filing in the minutes of the court as submitted by Sheriff Davis.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Kirkendall, seconded by Commissioner Young. Any discussion? Sheriff, this is early and we appreciate it. We know that you have a little bit more to do when you do your report.
Yeah, a little bit more.
We appreciate you getting it done.
Chief Minton does a real good job.
I agree. All right, any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Number 12, consider approval of request by Sheriff Davis to authorize the county judge to execute Amendment 4 to interlocal cooperation contract with Spindletop Center for Mental Health Liaison Program. Good morning, Sheriff.
Good morning.
This amendment is just a
This is
renewal.
a continuation. It reflects the increase for the cost of living and fringes and benefits with that. The meat and potatoes of the agreement is the same. It's just a continuation, renewal for the next year.
This is the mental health deputy?
That is. That's a complete funding through the grant for that.
Excellent.
So moved. Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Young, seconded by Commissioner Kirkendall, and just want to add, the sheriff told me many times how beneficial this is for his department and the citizens of Hardin County, and we could probably use 1 or 2 more. Maybe one of these days we'll get with Spindletop and make that happen, but we're very fortunate to have this, and the sheriff appreciates it.
Yeah, definitely so.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Number 13, consider approval of, approval of request by Sheriff Davis to sell a 2020 Chevrolet Tahoe PPV, VIN number ending in 9676, to Hardin County Emergency Services District Number 1 in the amount of $1,000 pursuant to section 263.152 Local Government Code. This transfer of surplus property represents Hardin County's commitment to the Emergency Services District creation of a medical first responder program benefiting the citizens of Hardin County. Sheriff?
Yeah, we had talked about this a little bit a while back, and so we want to finally bring it to completion. A lot of the ESDs, the judge and I have really been encouraging them to come up with some first responder activities and carve that out, and Kuntz is committed to that. They've done a lot of work on training, trying to put some staff together, get them certified, get some training, get a vehicle. And what they're doing is they're not trying to take the place of EMS, but they're trying to supplement and maybe get there quicker, sooner. You know, we have some long wait times for EMS in a lot of areas of the county. And it's not just Hardin County. We hear about it all over everywhere. But the little things that the ESDs are doing to try to cut down that time, put a friendly face in front of somebody who's in medical distress, try to stabilize that patient until maybe a paramedic can get on scene. And so Kuntz was trying to get all of that together, and we were going to be trading in some surplus vehicles. They don't generally bring a whole bunch of money on their trade-ins. They're pretty well used and well worn, if you will, whenever we get rid of them. But we picked out one we think is probably the better of the best that we have going to trade in, and with a little bit of offset to be able to have ESD pick that up, use it. They're going to load equipment on it, and they've got manpower, and they're ready to go. In fact, they've been running now for several weeks. Had great feedback from the public. You know, if you're that person that needs the ambulance, it sure is nice to see someone get there fairly quick, and they've committed to doing that. So I'd ask that you allow us, you know, the government code allows you to, it allows agencies like ours to get rid of surplus property to another government entity in the county. This is not something that would have to go normally for purchasing and the disposal process, where you have to go out for bids and seek funding. This allows us to do that if we stay in the county, and so it qualified all the way around. We thought it was a great idea, and Hardin County being able to help them.
Move to approve.
Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Young. Any discussion?
Yes, I have spoken with a couple of members of the fire department about this, and they're very thankful and appreciative.
Yeah, I think it's a win-win for everybody, and they know at some point, yeah, they're gonna have to have something probably a little bigger and better than what a Tahoe's gonna do for them. But right now, it helps them get off the ground, so,
Well, thank you for doing this.
yes.
One of the ESD1 commissioners is here. Mr. Wilford, is there anything you want to say?
Just wanted to express my gratitude to the sheriff and to all the members of the court. We've spoken of this, and we've tried to keep y'all informed along the way of our progress. It got here a little slower than we wanted to, but we wanted to make sure that our people were trained properly and ready to go, and we appreciate the support as we continue to try to do more for the citizens of the district and of surrounding areas.
Well, we're all aware that you kind of pushed to make sure that that happened, and so we really appreciate that. We think it's a great thing for the citizens of Hardin County, especially those inside ESD1, and we thank y'all for getting it up and running.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. How many runs are y'all making a day? You told me yesterday.
We've averaged 2.2 calls a day since we started, so
Yeah.
we felt like it was gonna be hitting the ground running, and that was another reason to make sure that we were adequately prepared. And it has proved to be, like I say, 2.2 average since we started.
Awesome. Well, thank y'all again for doing it.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Number 14, consider approval of request by Sheriff Davis to purchase 3 2024 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 crew cab PPV trucks from Lake Country Chevrolet in the amount of $223,170, utilizing the Goodbye Cooperative Purchasing Program and funding the purchase with the rural law enforcement grants as follows: $222,870 for the auto purchase and $300 for the dues and subscriptions, which is the Goodbye fee.
So moved.
Second. Have a motion by Commissioner Kirkendall, seconded by Commissioner Cook. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Commissioner?
Yes, sir. So this has all been funded by SB 22?
That is correct on this particular purchase, and just for the record, that's a completely rigged out. So that's dollar amount, you look at that and go, man, that's quite a bit. That includes every single thing
Nice.
on there with the exception of the police radio. That's,
I think those camera systems are around $7,000 or $8,000 now.
they are $8,150 a piece just for the in-car camera.
It used to be $2,200.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's one of the qualifications with that grant is you're able to purchase that associated equipment, but it must be done at time of purchase, and it must be permanently added to and affixed
Nice.
to the vehicle.
Nice.
So, you either do it on the front end or you don't do it at all, and so that was nice to be able to get those. And there's no Tahoes available. That's the reason why we're at trucks, is you'll notice there's no new Tahoes running around on the road anywhere. But thank y'all.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Item 15, consider approval of request by Mrs. Melinda Harrington, Human Resources Director, to authorize the county judge to sign Affordable Care Act Reporting and Tracking Service Program Agreement offered by Texas Association of Counties Health and Employees Benefits Pool. We have to do this annually, is that correct?
Yes, sir, this is just to send out the Form 1095C to all the employees showing what the county pays towards their, insurances and then of course what the employees pay.
There's no changes in this renewal?
No, sir, just the year difference.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Young, seconded by Commissioner Cook. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Ms. Harrington.
Thank you.
Number 16, consider approval of request by Mrs. Misty Sims, purchasing agent, to authorize the county judge to execute Amendment 4 to Hazard Mitigation Grant Program, DR 4332-0233, Phase 2, architectural services agreement with the LaBeach Architectural Group Incorporated for the hurricane safe room. Is this just an extension of time?
We're adding some federal language that wasn't originally included.
Okay.
The federal clauses, it's the same on the next one.
Move to approve.
Have a motion by Commissioner Kirkendall, seconded by Commissioner Cooper. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. 17, consider approval of request by Mrs. Sims to authorize the county judge to execute amendment to Hazard Mitigation Grant Program DR 4332-0233, Phase 2, Architectural Services Agreement with NNT Construction Incorporated for the Hurricane Safe Room construction. Same thing?
Again, just adding required federal language.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Kirkendall, seconded by Commissioner Young. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Number 18, consider approval of request by Mrs. Sims to rescind the action taken by Commissioners Court on January 28, 2025, to authorize the purchasing agent to solicit bids for emergency disaster debris removal and debris monitoring, and consider approval to authorize the purchasing agent to solicit proposals for emergency disaster debris removal and debris monitoring. If approved, appoint an evaluation committee to evaluate proposals and make a recommendation to Commissioners Court. So this is just rescinding the authorization to go out for bids and instead go out for proposals.
Yes, sir. Low bid's not always the best bid in certain situations, so we wanna be able to evaluate based on factors other than price.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Kirkendall, seconded by Commissioner Young. Do you want to name that committee?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Aaron Tupper, Clay Woodward, and Commissioner Young.
All right. Excellent choice. Any other discussion? And you'll include that in your motion to name that committee?
Yes.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Number 19, consider approval of request by Mrs. Sims to present results of bids received and the recommendation of Levens Engineering and Design for construction to repair 2 drainage culvert crossings on Cooks Lake Road located in Precinct 4, and possibly award to successful vendor. You want to present those, and then we'll hear what Mr. Levens has to say?
Sure.
All right.
Bids were open on February 5th, 2025 at 2 p.m. in this room, Commissioner's courtroom. We received one from LZ Services for $170,495. Triangle Civil Services, $173,062. Construction Zone, $281,836. MK Constructors, $329,950. And East Tex Utility for $452,155.
All right, and Mr. Levens, did you want to speak regarding these?
Nothing really in particular, just, I guess to dovetail into what Misty mentioned, we did receive bids, we have evaluated, all the bids, especially the low bidder, and our recommendation is to award to, LZ Services. If you notice on the attached bid form, contract time was also bid along with their dollar prices, and contract time for this project was 45 days for LZ. So, we recommend approval.
Commissioner Cook?
Yes, sir. I take y'all's recommendation, and I appreciate all the work y'all done on it, and I would like to make a motion to move forward with this.
All right.
Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Young, to move forward with the recommendation made by the engineer to award to the low bidder LZ Services. Any discussion?
Jeff, where is LZ?
LZ, they're out of Lumberton.
They did the Saratoga drainage.
I knew I'd heard that name.
Yeah.
They also won all the parking lot bids as
That's
well.
right.
So we've done quite a few projects with them. We have decent relationship with the contractor, so we feel they'll definitely perform to the expectations of the county.
Thanks, sir.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Jeff.
Yes, sir.
And Misty. Wasn't sure if we were through with you yet. Number 20, consider approval of request to amend the fiscal year 2024 budget regarding revisions related to payment of the retention type stipend as attached. You have a spreadsheet here that was presented to Commissioners Court through the auditing department from Candace McKinney. And Mrs. Gore, do you have to read each of these off, or can we just
No, I'll summarize it for you.
summarize it? That sounds great.
Yeah. On August the 27th of 2024, we requested $531,660 from the interest earned to cover these retention stipends that was paid on September the 12th of 2024. And now everything has been finalized with the grants, so we're back to revise the budget amendment that was approved back then. So we want to revise the previous budget amendment by decreasing the revenue on interest earned by $62,131 and decrease the expenditures from the transfers to all those different, grants that covered the cost of this retention stipend. And this is in the general fund. And the next two budget amendments, these are ones that were not covered by a grant. The first one is increase the interest earned by $1,623 and increase the expenditures to offset that for the salaries and the benefits. And this is the health inspector, retention stipend. Part of hers was not covered by a grant. And then the last one is increasing in the general fund the interest earned for the health disparities grant by $4,247 and to increase the expenditures transferred to that health disparity grant fund 523 in the same amount. And then we just asked him to increase the revenue in the disparities fund 523, transfer from general by $4,247, increase the expenditures for the salaries and the benefits.
So moved.
Second.
A motion by Commissioner Kirkendall, seconded by Commissioner Young. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank y'all for
Thank you.
all the work y'all had to do to make that balance out. Appreciate it.
I can tell you, just to recap it, we asked for $531,660 for the interest earned line item, and we only needed $475,399. So that was a difference of $56,000.
Good deal. Thank y'all.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Candace. You get there in the back and hide. I know what you do. Number 21, consider approval of request to amend the fiscal year 25 budget for additional revenue received by RMB2 regarding the sale of equipment through Renee Bates Auctioneers Incorporated, as approved in Commissioners Court on November 12, 2024, as follows. Create a new line item in the RMB2 budget is 017364100, sale of capital assets, and increase that revenue line item by $8,002. And then increase the expenditures in the vehicle equipment expense by the same amount, $8,002.
So moved.
Second.
That motion by Commissioner Kirkendall, seconded by Commissioner Cooper. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Number 22, consider approval of request to amend the fiscal year 25 budget for additional revenue received by RMB2 regarding the disposal of equipment unable to sell, as approved in Commissioners Court December 10, 2024. Increase that new line item we just created by $5,546 for capital assets sale, and increase expenditures for vehicle equipment expense in the RMB2 budget by the same amount, $5,546.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Commissioner Kirkendall, seconded by Commissioner Cooper. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. 23, consider approval of request to amend the fiscal year 24 budget for insurance proceeds received related to vehicle repairs as follows. Create a new line item 010361100 in the general fund and increase revenue by the amount of $3,420 in that line item. And then increase expenditures in 010630454 auto maintenance and repair by the same amount, $3,420.
So, second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Young, seconded by Commissioner Kirkendall. Which budget is that? 630? Which department?
Health Department.
Health Department. Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Number 24, consider approval of request from Ms. Sharon Whitley, Health Director, to adjust the salary allocation between the general fund and grant funds for the Health Director and Health Inspector Manager effective February 16, 2025, as a result of a delay in funding from the FDA regarding the NEHA FDA Retail Flexible Funding Model Grant Program. This adjustment will create a $1,684 cost savings to the general fund for the remainder of this fiscal year, and if approved, will amend the fiscal year 25 budget as follows. Increase the fund balance in the general fund by $1,684. Increase expenditures in the Health Department salaries other by $6,797. And decrease expenditures in the Health Department salaries appointed in the amount of $8,481. We have a memo from the Health Director here regarding this request. To make a long story short, we haven't gotten a grant yet that we do expect to receive from the FDA for the Health Inspector Manager. Sharon is able to cover some of her salary out of a different grant so that Ms. Bolton can be paid out of the general fund, and it will save the general fund $1,684 if we go all the way through the end of this fiscal year making this change.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Kirkendall, seconded by Commissioner Cook. Any discussion?
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Cooper?
Ms. Whitley, please keep us informed if we get, the funding from the FDA on this and not. I'd like to stay on top of that, whether or not, do you see a problem in the future?
And that was my question I was gonna ask. I know that there's been a lot of talk about grant funding in Washington and what have you, so I'm just curious on.
Let me just say before she speaks, this is why Mrs. Gore, recommended that we go ahead and make this adjustment for the whole year in case we don't get it. But, Ms. Whitley?
With the FDA grant, it really is an uncertainty. So, although we do have some grants that we're currently under contract for until 2027, but it's the new grants that are delayed.
Okay.
Have we in the past, I don't know if I should ask the auditor yourself, have we in the past, I guess I could look myself without asking this question, funded any of either of these two positions out of county budget? General fund?
There is part of their salary
Part
now
of
coded,
it,
yes. There is.
And this is
We're just increasing one of the employees and decreasing the other one. But yes, there is part of their salaries, both of them, that's paid currently out of the general fund.
And this is decreasing part of Ms. Whitley's fund out of, salary out of the general fund. She'll get paid out of a grant. And then that allows Ms. Bolton to be paid out of the general fund a little less amount than what Ms. Whitley's being paid. This fund, this particular grant, we were late getting it last year as well, I think, is that right? But we had it by this time last year.
We have been receiving that particular grant since 2021.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. And if we do get that grant, does it need to come back to court to move money back around to begin paying Ms. Bolton back out of the grant? And so definitely everybody will be notified, but we'll make sure everybody gets notified as soon as we have an answer on that.
Could that be part of our motion?
I don't think so.
No, because it's uncertain when we'll receive it, or if we will receive it.
Thank you, Ms. Whitney. Item 25, consider approval of request by Ms. Sharon Whitley, Health Director, to authorize the county judge to execute a memorandum of understanding between Hardin County on behalf of Hardin County Health Services and Lumberton Municipal Utility District to dispense medications in the event of a countywide mass prophylaxis operation. We gotta come up with a different word there, so I don't have a hard time saying it. This is just a renewal, is that correct?
That's correct.
There's no changes to the MOU other than the time, the term?
So much.
Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Young, seconded by Commissioner Cooper. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Number 26, discussion on any other non-agenda item without taking action, including reports from elected officials and department heads or announcements which may be of interest to the public. Any member of the court have anything? Any discussion items?
I'd like for us to keep Jason Griffin in prayer today. He goes back at noon for surgery. It's a 6 to 8 hour procedure. And so, talked to him and BB this morning, prayed with them over the phone, and so we could just keep them in our thoughts and in our prayers, and then he'll be in the hospital in Houston all week. So we'll just keep him in our thoughts and prayers.
Will do. Anybody present have any discussion items or reports to present? I just wanna add that the cafe's up and running. This is supposed to be a soft opening day, but they said things went so well yesterday, they're gonna try to stay open all the way through lunch and serve a hot meal, so support them if you can. I ate there yesterday and it was pretty good. Really good,
Biscuits and
actually.
gravy were really good this morning, so I appreciate that.
If anybody has any suggestions, let them kind of get their feet on the ground, and if y'all have any suggestions, anything you would like to see or anything you don't like, please let them know, and they'll be glad to get that input.
Maybe some orange chicken and some teriyaki chicken. No, I'm teasing. I'm teasing.
Sounds good.
That's right.
All right, we'll move on to 27.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Kirkendall, seconded by Commissioner Young. All in favor? Aye. We are adjourned.